Hello, this is a brief tutorial showing you how to get Bitbucket set up to turn in your assignments for Computer Science 150. To begin with, go ahead and start up your favorite web browser. In this case, I'll start up Chrome, and then navigate to bitbucket.org. Once you're at bitbucket.org, you need to be able to sign in. You can either do sign up or you can do login. And if you do login, you can log in with Google, Facebook, Twitter, GitHub accounts, or in this case, I've already got an account set up. Signing up is quite easy on Bitbucket, and then once you've signed in, the next thing that we need to do is navigate to the repository that has the templates set up for our assignments in Computer Science 150. In order to pull the template, you need to take a look at the different repositories of code that I have, and to do that, right after the HTTPS bitbucket.org / type in pcraven. This is my account name. And once you type that in, you'll see a list of my repositories. And the one that we're interested in is Program Arcade Games Work. Click on this, and you're taken to the repository that has the templates for Program Arcade Games. What we want to do next is create your own copy of this particular repository. And in order to do that, you go up here to the Fork button. Once you click on Fork, you're going to create your own repository. You can create the same name, or you can change the name if you like. But what's really important is that underneath Access Level, you want to check Private Repository. If you don't click Private Repository, everybody else will be able to see your repository, and they'll be able to copy your answers into their own answers. Oftentimes we'll get copies of assignments turned in that are copies of somebody else's assignment. Then we have to give zeros out, turn it into the dean. It's a big hassle. Everybody's unhappy. And the real key thing is, this is one of the most lucrative skills that you can actually manage to learn. And if you don't learn this, there's no sense taking any other classes, and you're going to miss out on one of the best paying skills that you can get. You really need to be able to learn this material. So it's important to keep your work private and not look at other people's work. You need to learn the material by doing the work. So check that this is a private repository, and then go ahead and fork the repository. I'm not going to create another fork myself, but go ahead and create another fork of the repository, and then you'll have your own repository in order to download the code. Once you do that, underneath your repositories menu, you'll have your own repository, and you can create a clone of that repository by right up here where it says HTTPS. You can take this, right click on it, copy the code, then assuming that you already have the Tortoise HG client, the Tortoise Mercurial client installed. If not, go back and look at how to install that on a different tutorial. You should be able to right click Tortoise HG clone, then paste that address that you had copied. Go ahead and click clone, and then once it says it's finished, you're done. That's all there is to it. It is a little bit odd. You can see right here there's a cancel button. It's already finished and done, so I don't really know why they just didn't make it into a done button, but right now that's what we've got. And it seems a bit odd that the cancel button doesn't do anything. You just go ahead and click the close button here. Hopefully that's a bug that they'll get taken care of fairly soon. But now on this folder I've got a template for all the different items that I work. I can work on lab 1. These are just empty files, but I can go ahead and fill in each of the different labs. And the worksheets are in PY form. It makes it really easy for me to check the file and give feedback. It works better than a Microsoft Word document for being able to do that. Although a Microsoft Word document admittedly looks a whole lot better, it's difficult to do the revisions and feedback in Microsoft Word, so that's why we've got it in a Python format. At this point, only you can see the repository. In order for me to be able to see the repository, or whomever you have checking your work, you need to invite them to the repository. Therefore, go underneath Send Invitation on the repository, or up here there's a Share button, and type in the username. If you want me to be able to use it, type in pcraven, And if it's somebody else, then select that person. As you type it in here, it has a little pop-up to make sure you get the right person. And in this case, I'm trying to invite myself to the repository, so I get an error. That doesn't really work, but if I didn't have access, it wouldn't give you the error. Then you hit the share button, and that person will have access to the repository. You can have up to 5 people have access to the repository. If you want more than that, then you actually need to pay Bitbucket for the ability to collaborate. If you're working on a group project, you can share the repository with another person, but I don't recommend sharing this particular repository with anybody but me, just to make sure that you don't run into issues with copied assignments. Then, once you've got it shared and you've actually got a particular assignment done, if you are in your repository, you can click on the source menu, and it'll list all the files that are in the repository. And once you've got the files in the repository listed, you can select a particular one that you're interested in. There'll be the URL for this particular worksheet. You can right-click and then do copy, and you can paste that URL inside of programarcadegames.com. When you turn in your assignment, then I'll know where to go to get that particular assignment. That's about all there is to it for setting up and using Bitbucket for turning in your assignments for this class.